Matthew Bryza. He's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. Thanks so much for joining us. As always, Matthew, we appreciate it. I'm still reeling over the fact that the president, refused to shake the hand of the Speaker of the House. And then the Speaker of the House visibly, very visibly, tears up the State of the Union address, right in front of the camera. Has there ever been in U.S. history that level of animosity and really breaking with protocol and all tradition in the history of the United States? Have you seen that before?
No, and thank you so much, Andrea, for having me with you. No, never. This is utterly unprecedented. I'd like to think maybe President Trump simply, I don't know, was nervous and didn't see Speaker Pelosi extend her hand, but it did look like he snubbed her, and then she tearing up his speech. I mean, these are tantrums that are completely outside of protocol of this occasion that's supposed to be when the country comes together, thinks about what's happened in the past year and what the goals are for the country in the future. And what this really shows is how totally divided the United States is along party lines. Just one little bit of statistics. So President Trump's approval rating is actually higher than it's been at all during his presidency. It's 49%. But he has 94% of Republican support and only 7% of Democrats. That gap, that huge 87% gap between the two parties in supporting a president is unprecedented in the history of polling by the Gallup organization.
Right. Okay. Now, as for the content, though, of the State of the Nation, State of the Union address, he really, of course, put the economy front and center. He said, quote, "Poverty is plummeting." And again, he quoted the performance of the stock market as evidence, really of his success. But is the success of the stock market actually translating into wealth in the hands of the American people?
Yeah, well, it depends on which people you're talking about, right? I mean, those who are sufficiently wealthy to invest in the stock market or to have benefited from his tax cuts that were intended, I think, to stimulate activity in the stock market, they're doing much better. But the other 90+% of Americans are not doing dramatically better. And in fact, many of his comments in his speech were exaggerated or downright not factual. For example, he claimed that, as John Brain's report suggested, that he inherited an economy that was in decline and he brought America back. In reality, it was President Obama who inherited an economy in decline. He became president in the midst of the financial crisis that began in 2008. And he has rightfully, I think, taken credit for helping to turn the economy around. And when President Trump came to office, the economy was on the upswing. President Trump took credit for creating so many jobs and stimulating economic growth. But the job creation figures and economic growth figures of his administration so far are pretty much the same as President Obama's administration.
Okay. There's one more thing I want to touch on with you because you are an American and you will be very familiar with this figure. While some of our audience members might not be so familiar, but it's a fascinating thing here. The Presidential, Medal of Freedom, that is the nation's highest civilian honor, was given to a far-right radio talk show host who has been at the center of so many controversies before. Rush Limbaugh is his name. What did that say to you? Usually that Medal of Honor is given to people that can be agreed on somewhat on both sides of the aisle. It just seemed like another perfect illustration of the total polarization of U.S. politics and the U.S. public right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And in addition, I would say that to me, it shows that President Trump is worried. Okay, I said a few minutes ago, his approval rating is at 49%, the highest it's been in his presidency. However, with the economy doing it as relatively well as it is, his approval rating should be much higher. But it's not, because he himself is so divisive and because he has decided that to get reelected, he is going to play only to his so-called political base. The people who agree with his ideology, his America First ideology, which many people believe is also misogynistic and against minorities, anti-immigration. And he thinks if he can energize enough of those people, then he's going to win the election. So he wants to get more people out to vote. And Rush Limbaugh is the darling of so many of those people in his base.
Right. Okay, Matthew, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us. Greatly appreciate it.